Welcome to the channel, and my name is KJ, and today we're starting a brand new series, and it is called The Best Trades of the Month. Now I'm excited to start this series and to start looking for the best setups that we could have found in the past month. Now we're not talking about the stocks that made the biggest moves. This is something you really need to understand here, because bad setups can go up hundreds of percentages and great setups can fail. But over time, if we focus on the very best setups, we will have the best performance possible. We want to stay away from the bad and concentrate into the good setups. So let's get right into it. This is for the month of May 2022. I have this month outlined with this line here. As we're looking at the NASDAQ, as you can see, the 10-day was underneath the 20-day, and we're in a serious bear market. So this was not a time to trade at all. I took absolutely zero trades this month, but there were some decent setups. So let's go back and check them out. And first one on the list is AMR. Now obviously this is a resource stock, so oil and gas has been going crazy and all these stocks have been running. So as you can see, this day here was a decent setup. We have a nice huge uptrend going on here this entire year, up 300% almost. As you can see, we put in a little range. It's a little choppy in here, shakeouts and fakeouts, whatever you want to call it. But the range starts to get really tight right here, and we get a nice couple days here where it puts in a very nice range. So this is what you would have been wanting to see right here and been ready on the jump. And then it broke out this day on volume. So this was a decent trade if you took it, and it didn't have much follow through at all. But if you manage to catch, all the way to the top, it's around a 13% trade. But this is just another example of why we don't trade in these kind of markets. There's just not much follow through. Now the next stock on the list, STNG, as we can see, this thing is in a solid uptrend. We had a nice long base this entire past year, and it started moving up. And now let's see a potential setup on here. Now this was definitely not as obvious and not a very clean setup, but as you can see, this day here, we get a nice come down, bounce off the 20-day. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful uptrend. All the moving averages are looking very nice. As you can see, we also have some earnings are improving, so we like to see that too. But right here, it gets a little tight. It comes up, surfs the 10-day, decides to go down, comes straight back up, closes very tight. So you could have been watching. This is not, like I said, there's not a lot of great setups this month, but this one turned out to be very nice. As you can see, it is still grinding its way higher, and it's currently up around 30%. So yeah, decent setup there. And number 3 is PVL. Now I think this setup was actually very clean. As we can see on the weekly, it's making a huge uptrend this entire time, and it's picking up speed in recent weeks. Now as we look here, as if we would seen it the day before, this is what we would have seen right here. As you can see, this stock is up, almost 100%. We get a nice big push here, comes back, surfs the 10-day, kind of tries to make a move, kind of fails, come back, surfs the 20-day, and we're putting in very nice higher lows and staying within that range. I mean, this is a very good setup. Volume also drying down here. And if we see what happened, boom, we get a nice breakout, and it just is off to the races. But yeah, in my opinion, this is probably the best setup of this month. I'm not really sure, but it's the best one that I could find. As we look here, it's around a 50% up, and doing that while the NASDAQ is just falling is pretty good. And number 4, BPT. So this setup was not as obvious, but it was still an okay setup. And the reason I say that is because we have a nice, huge uptrend. The stock is definitely a leader. It's up 400% from the lows. And as we can see, it fails to surf the 20-day here, comes down, surfs the 50, starts coming back up and surfing the 10. And we also have a range here just because there's a lot of resistance here. And whenever it popped through, it made a very nice follow through, and it is still going. So this was a decent setup. Like I said, not as obvious, but we kind of want to watch for these things. And there was a clear pivot here, so not too bad. And if you would have got in this, you would have been up around 25% right now. So yeah, pretty decent setup. All right, the next stock we have AR, another resource company. But anyways, this is in a solid stage 2 uptrend, which we like to see, and it is up a lot. Let's check it out real quick. It's up, almost 150% right now, but at the time of breakout, it was up over 100%. It was definitely a little choppy in here, but if you really looked at it, there was an okay range. Come down, it bounced off the 50, starts coming back up, and then a really tight day right here, and we get a nice breakout on volume. So if you were watching, this was a good trade, and it is still going. It is flying high above the 10-day. So if you would have caught this, you'd have been up 20% right now in a week. So not too bad. Let's go ahead and move on to the last trade of this month, and it is UONE. And now this one is definitely not as obvious. This one is kind of crazy here, but as you can see, we have a nice move, a pullback, and it really is surfing that 10-day. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it broke out, and it was a decent entry, and it made a pretty decent move so far, and this stock is up 22%. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think about this series. I'm learning here, so all these setups are not perfect. I am just trying to show y'all what I'm seeing. So let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, and I'll see y'all next time.